project was to research the stability of users using walking frames and to develop a better stroke safer walking frame. And that was co-funded by our company and Innovate UK, and that was a 2-year knowledge transfer partnership. And during that project, we identified the hazards associated with using a walking frame. We then went into the lab and developed prototype improvements, which we then tested. And at the end of the project, we came up with a prototype walking frame which performed, we believed, much better. And then our researcher at the University of Salford contacted Helen Dawes, who is obviously a professor at the University of Exeter, initially just to share with Helen Dawes the research work that we'd done and the outcomes that we'd achieved with the walking frame, and with a view to finding out if we could find partners who could actually test the walking frame in a real-life clinical environment. So that's how we came into contact with the University of Exeter. It's absolutely essential because we are a commercial business. We're used to designing new medical devices. That's one of the key aspects of our company and one of my job responsibilities within the company. But historically, when we've developed new medical devices, they've always been small iterations to existing devices. So minor modifications to shape or form, small improvements in functionality. But this was the first case we'd really set about designing a new product pretty much from scratch. So we took an existing product, which was a walking frame, and with the help of the University of Salford, we completely redesigned how the walking frame works. So we made a transformative change to the product. And where you make transformative changes to a product, you obviously have to test them to prove that they are safe and that they provide a significant clinical improvement. And for that, we need to run clinical trials. And so doing this trial gave us some initial evidence to prove that the product was safe to, that was the primary requirement of this trial, was to prove that it was safe to use. And also to get some initial clinical feedback from clinicians in a real world environment. And without that, we would have been unable to launch the product, because we wouldn't have had that key safety information to say that the product was fit for use. The whole process of working with University of Exeter on this project was a really rewarding process for me as a professional, as an individual. I've worked in the rehabilitation industry for 20 odd years, but this was something new, and it brought in a new level of knowledge which I didn't have. And I believe the outcome of the whole project will be that our business will launch a significantly better medical device that will benefit a large number of people. And that wouldn't have happened without the support of our academic partners, and that is both the University of Exeter and the University of Salford. So it was a very rewarding activity as a whole.